So I'm coming into the park tonight because I want to make this video, and it's the only place at night that's going to have good light. I also want to be kind of at full volume, and so this is where to come to do it. So we're talking about dating as a decently successful white guy in a major city, and I'm having just an amazingly hard time. And I know everybody is like I get on the internet and I read these stories. You know, everybody's basically saying exactly the same thing. They're saying, man, this dating thing is super, super hard, and like, how the hell do I find that person I really want, find that feeling that I'm looking for, find that, that arrangement that I'm looking for. And I don't have any answers on this. Zero frickin' answers. But so I think of myself as old-fashioned. Like, that's what I have in my head. But when I get on the thing, the responses I get are just like, people aren't interested. Like, I'm fairly attractive, fairly interesting, fairly successful, all the things. And I've got a couple things that are not going for me, and I can look at those realistically. I don't have very high status. I own and operate a business. I have 10 employees approximately, and we clear, quite a bit of money every year. I've got the skills to run it, etc. But that doesn't seem to be what women are looking for. And the women who seem to be interested in me are not people I'm interested in. And I just find this over and over and over and over again. And I presume other guys are having the same experience. But I want to be attracted to whoever it is that I'm getting together with, and like, we're not talking like physical attraction here. I mean, some physical attraction sure is great, but I know that it's gonna vanish. Like, 10 years in, 5 years in, the level of physical attraction changes, and you end up being attracted to who the person is. And so my standards have changed significantly, and my standard is basically, I should want to be in the same room as you a chunk of the time, because we're going to spend like 30 years or something being in the same house, the same rooms, doing things together, and obviously we're going to get sick of each other. But so like, I don't need to. I used to, like, when I was in my 20s and my early 30s, I'd say, oh man, I'm really looking for that person who I just love. I love her so dearly. I'm obsessed with her. She is like, my goddess, whatever. And I'm getting to this point where there is no goddess. There are just people. There are people with a bunch of problems, and me and my problems, and my hope of finding somebody who I can basically tolerate, and who can tolerate me. And I mean that in like in a remotely loving way. Like, we can be in the same room together and be like, man, I'm glad that I'm sharing this room with you and no one else, and I'm happy to be raising our kids together. And yes, we agree on a handful of these really critical things, and I'm good with that. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad I'm doing this with you. And the problems I'm okay with, and I'm going to work at those problems with you. And I don't find anybody who meets that standard. Everybody I meet, I'm like, man, like, I would be better off not having a family and not being in a relationship, because because we're going to be miserable together. And I go, is this a problem with me? Like, am I the common denominator? Like, should I figure out how to become more charismatic, more successful, increase my status, etc.? And like, yeah, that's probably the answer. But the other answer is, like, the things that get advertised to me on the internet are that the wholesome women are in other countries. The wholesome women, the ones who will stick by your side, they are in other countries. And if you go there, you may get lucky and run into somebody who's like, yeah, I would stick by your side and be happy to work through these problems, and I actually want to be a mother, and I actually want to be dealing with a man who wants to be a man and who doesn't want to be a woman and who doesn't want a woman to run his life. That's the conclusion I'm coming to. And I always thought it would be sort of this prestigious thing to end up with a white woman, and I've just come to this conclusion that they're just not dateable. Like, they're mean and hostile, and the ones who are available to me are not attractive, and I don't know what else to do. How do I improve the situation? And I know mentality, is part of that, and like working on my my self-confidence, my self-worth. Historically, I've had pretty low self-worth, and so when I see somebody on the street who I'm attracted to, it's pretty hard to approach them. And so historically, I've approached people who I was less attracted to, and maybe they say yes, and then we start something up, and I'm like, man, I really wish we hadn't started something up, because it's just eating up more time, and now I've had a negative experience, and this poor girl has not been chosen, and like, I don't want that either. Like I want a woman to feel chosen. Like, I want to choose a woman. And I faced that criticism in relationships in the past of women saying, well, I want to be chosen, and if you're not gonna make me feel chosen, then you can just like fuck right off. And I buy that, but I want to be chosen too, by somebody who I feel good about. It sort of feels like there's a war between men and women, and I didn't used to believe this. Like, I grew up with very feminist ideals, and it was really pushed on me pretty aggressively that I was bad for being born a man. And I believe that, and I did all this work to try to right that catastrophe, that I had been born. And then I started realizing, maybe like 6 years ago, that it's just not the case. It's not the case that I'm bad, that I'm inherently bad, that I don't take care of people I love, that I produce ill results for those around me. Like I take good care of people, and I love people, and I'm fucking responsible, and I would love to have a family, and like build a legitimate relationship with somebody who's like serious about it and wants to have fun and wants to have adventures and wants to raise healthy kids, and I work every day at letting go of that. I work every day at letting go of the fact that, here, we're gonna sit down. It may not happen. It may be. The old lady is getting upset that the kids on motorcycles are riding around. They're riding around the park on the pavement. I think that's great. That's what kids ought to be doing. I've been making peace with the fact that I may end up being single my whole life, and that's just got to be okay, like the fulfillment of being a person and having community and having a clean house and a clean mind, and careful friendships where we try to take care of each other, and like building the things that I've dreamed about. I always dreamed that I would get together with a woman who I thought was really really wonderful, and we would build these things. And so I postponed them. I said, okay, I will wait and wait and wait and wait. I'll wait until I find her, and then we'll build the things. And in the meantime, I'll save and I'll learn skills and I'll prepare myself. And I've been preparing myself for like almost 20 years. Almost 20 years I've been learning like different things, different skills that I thought were relevant, different emotional skills, physical skills, building skills, management skills, trying to figure out how I could be a good guy to a woman and make her feel good. And I care less now, and I don't like that. Like I used to care, like deeply, and I would bend over backwards in any way I possibly could. And that's slipping away, like that desire to just give everything. And I'm not saying it won't come back, like that might come back at some point, like that, like I want to give everything to my child, everything to the woman. But this feels like a time where I should go do some things that are just for me, just for my own satisfaction, my own adventure. And maybe that means going to a different country and having an adventure in another country. And I'm learning Spanish right now. I'm practicing Spanish and finding people to practice with. I think that's a good thing. And it's just like that's the world we're living in right now. And it doesn't make any sense. My parents, who are not together, have been close for 40 years. And the best I ever did was a 4-year relationship with somebody who wouldn't marry me and wouldn't have kids with me. And I mean, also she wanted to be a man. Back then she was pretty young. We had a lot of troubles. Yeah, I don't understand the world, and I wish we lived in a time where it was easy to run into somebody you could compromise with, who didn't set the standards so far above where average is. A person like me should be able to find somebody who is suited to them. And yeah, I don't know what to make of it. I'm going to keep trying. So I have not given up.